What if I told you that the most important thing on Earth isn't water, electricity, money, or even the sun? It's something you're using right now without thinking about it. Oxygen. Every second of every day, it quietly keeps the world running. Your lungs need it. Fires need it. Engines need it. But here's a terrifying question. What if oxygen suddenly disappeared? Not forever, not for a year, not even for a minute, just 5 seconds. It sounds harmless, doesn't it? After all, you've probably held your breath longer than that. But those 5 seconds would be enough to throw the modern world into chaos. Running out of breath wouldn't even be the biggest problem. Imagine it's an ordinary day. People are driving to work. Children are sitting in classrooms. Millions of passengers are flying high above the clouds. Surgeons are performing operations. Factories are running. Power stations are generating electricity. Everything seems completely normal. Then it happens. Every free oxygen molecule in the air vanishes. Instantly, no warning, no countdown. One moment it's there, the next moment it isn't. At first, nobody understands what's happening. You take a breath. Something feels wrong. The air suddenly feels different, heavier, unnatural, and before anyone can figure out why, the world begins to change. Fast, most people assume the first problem would be suffocation, but that's not what grabs the world's attention first. The atmosphere has just lost about 21% of its composition. The pressure around you suddenly drops, and your body notices immediately. Across the planet, people clutch their ears. Pain shoots through their heads. Many eardrums rupture within moments. Imagine standing in a crowded city street. Thousands of people suddenly stop walking. Some fall to their knees, others stare upward in confusion. The sky, the familiar blue sky you've seen your entire life, begins to change. The color starts fading, almost as if somebody is slowly turning off reality. For countless generations, humans have looked up and seen blue. Now the sky looks unfamiliar, alien. By the second, transportation systems start failing. A man driving on a highway notices his car losing power. A truck driver presses the accelerator. Nothing happens. Vehicles begin slowing everywhere, one after another, because combustion engines need oxygen to burn fuel. No oxygen means no combustion. No combustion means no power. Highways become giant parking lots almost instantly. 35,000 feet in the air, things are very different. Pilots watch warning lights appear across their dashboards. Jet engines begin shutting down. One engine, then another. Hundreds of aircraft around the world suddenly lose thrust. Passengers have no idea what's happening. Some are sleeping. Some are watching movies. Some are looking out the window. But inside the cockpit, panic is spreading. Pilots are trained for engine failures. They are not trained for every engine on Earth failing at the same time. The aircraft are now gliding, and every second matters. You might think this is the worst part. It's not. Not even close. Because all across the planet, every fire suddenly disappears. Candles, campfires, industrial furnaces, gas stoves, power plant burners, everything. Gone. Imagine watching a candle. 1 second it's burning, the next second it's simply erased. No struggle, no warning, just darkness. Factories go silent. Steel plants freeze in the middle of production. Glass manufacturing stops. Industrial systems shut down. Power stations begin failing. Emergency systems activate. But even many emergency systems depend on oxygen-driven processes. The modern world is beginning to realize something terrifying. Almost everything depends on a gas nobody ever thinks about. Hospitals face immediate problems. Medical staff scramble to understand a situation that should be impossible. Meanwhile, millions of people instinctively try to breathe. The human body still contains some oxygen in the bloodstream, so most people remain conscious. But the urge to inhale becomes overwhelming. Every breath feels empty. Every second feels longer than the last. Phones light up. Emergency services are flooded with calls. Social media explodes with confusion. Nobody has answers. Now we're approaching the 4th second. And this is where things become truly frightening. But here's what you need to understand. Only the free oxygen molecules in the air have disappeared. The oxygen locked inside concrete, rock, minerals, and metal oxides is still there. bound within their chemical structures. Those materials do not vanish or instantly crack. However, the sudden loss of atmospheric pressure and the absence of surface oxidation can still cause subtle, poorly understood effects on exposed surfaces. Scientists debate exactly how much damage would occur during such an impossible event. But one thing is certain: when you suddenly remove something so fundamental from Earth's atmosphere, unexpected stresses appear. Across cities worldwide, engineers might later discover minor surface changes in places nobody expected. Bridges, tunnels, roads, buildings, the world isn't collapsing. But it's showing strain in ways we've never had to consider. Then comes the fifth second. The final second, the longest second in human history. 8 billion people are desperately waiting for something they never appreciated before: their next breath. Children cling to parents. Passengers grip their seats. Doctors pause in disbelief. Drivers stare at silent vehicles. The entire planet shares a single thought: what's happening? And then oxygen returns. All at once, the atmosphere rushes back toward normal. People inhale desperately. Parents hug their children. Pilots fight to regain control. Drivers sit frozen in disbelief. For a brief moment, it seems like the nightmare is over. But it isn't. Because while oxygen was gone, something dangerous was happening. Gas continued leaking from stoves. Pipelines continued releasing fuel. Industrial systems continued building pressure. Unburned gases accumulated in countless places. And now, oxygen has returned. In an instant, thousands of ignition points appear around the world. Small fires become explosions. Factories erupt. Buildings catch fire. Industrial plants suffer catastrophic failures. Emergency services are overwhelmed. The disaster enters a second phase, the phase nobody saw coming. Firefighters race toward emergencies, appearing faster than they can respond. Hospitals fill with injured patients. Airports struggle with damaged aircraft and emergency landings. Power failures spread through entire regions. Financial markets react instantly. Supply chains are disrupted. Economic losses climb into unimaginable territory. Hours later, the world begins counting the cost. Aircraft accidents, massive fires, infrastructure damage, industrial disasters, economic losses beyond calculation. Scientists work around the clock. Governments launch investigations. News channels replay the same question over and over. How could 5 seconds change everything? Because oxygen isn't just something we breathe. It's woven into nearly every system that makes modern life possible. It powers transportation, supports manufacturing, enables energy production, sustains ecosystems, shapes the atmosphere, and keeps billions of people alive. Most of the time, we never think about it. We notice electricity when it goes out. We notice money when it's missing. We notice technology when it fails. But oxygen? We consume it every moment of our lives without a second thought. And that's what makes this thought experiment so unsettling. It reminds us how dependent we are on things we cannot see. The foundations of civilization are often invisible. The most important systems are usually the quietest ones. Right now, as you're listening to this, your body is taking another breath. Then, another, and another. Each one feels ordinary, automatic, unimportant, but hidden inside every breath is a gas that powers airplanes, supports industries, fuels fire, shapes the sky, and keeps billions of people alive. And perhaps the most terrifying lesson of all is this: the things we depend on most are often the things we notice least. Until they're gone.